you kind of have to work a little bit harder to get the things that you need.
Introducing Becca Weber.
Definitely in high school, it was a lot harder to make friends as well because high school kind of stinks for everyone.
College student, volunteer for the National Homework Hotline for Blind and Visually Impaired Students.
I reach out to my TVBI a lot, who I had in high school, and she taught me technology, and I ask her questions a lot about what to do in my career and what she thinks about this pathway or that pathway.
Online with Simon Bonenfant.
Simon Bonenfant here.
I would say that you are your best advocate and you know what works for you and what doesn't. And self-advocacy is really important, especially as you get into college and the workforce.
For more podcasts with the blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities, and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities.
I miss being face-to-face with people. I feel like I learn more when I interact with other people face-to-face.
And now please welcome Becca Weber with your host, Simon Bonenfant.
Hello everyone on Blind Abilities. This is Simon Bonenfant here. We're here in the midst of the coronavirus quarantine. I'm talking to Becca Weber. Becca, how's it going today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Becca, you and me have known each other for many, many years, good friends, and it's great to be able to sit down and talk today.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk a little bit about your background and talk about your journey?
I am blind. I've been blind since I was younger. I have RLP, which is retinopathy of prematurity. So basically, my retina in my left eye is partially detached because I was born premature. I was born at 24 weeks. I have no vision in my right eye and I have some vision in my left eye. I attended a school for the blind from kindergarten all the way to 8th grade, and then I attended a mainstream high school. Now I'm at Kutztown University studying to be a TVI.
It's kind of neat. I was thinking about this the other day that me and you actually went to the same grade school, and now I'm going to the same high school that you went to. So it's really neat.
It's pretty cool, yeah. I had great TVIs in high school, so I wanted to become a TVI as well. So I think that definitely played a role in me deciding on entering the vision field.
And what was your experience growing up as a blind student and a blind child? And how did your family and your friends interact with it? How did that go?
I would say I've been able to meet a lot of cool people in the blindness field. Definitely now that I am beginning to be a TVI, and studying to be a TVI. When I was in grade school, I had a lot of friends because we all were blind, so it was kind of easy to make friends. The mainstream school, because our school, both of us went to St. Lucy's, so
Yep, St. Lucie.
The school for the blind, and then we had the mainstream, regular elementary ed school. It was kind of harder to make friends there because they kind of just saw us as the blind kids, and then they were just the sighted kids. And the teachers kind of taught us to, go hang out with them, and we kind of did our own thing and they did their own thing. Definitely in high school, it was a lot harder to make friends as well because high school kind of stinks for everyone, and everyone would just be like, well, you're blind and I don't want to hang out with you. But I think when you get into college, people don't care that you have a disability or care that you're blind, so that's nice. And you meet a lot of different people from a wide variety of backgrounds. In high school, I think junior and senior year, that's kind of when I started to make some friends and got more involved. But college is definitely a lot better than high school, I think.
So when you transitioned from the grade school to high school at Archbishop Carroll, which is where I'm at as a junior now, and I can say, and I'm sure you can as well, it's a great school there.
It is, yeah.
How did you like it? Did you enjoy it? And how were the teachers, accommodations, things of that nature?
I liked it a lot. I think the teachers were great. Some of them you had to really nag to get things done. But most of them were really accommodating because when I was there, I was one of the first blind students who ever went to that high school. So it was kind of like I would tell them what they needed to do, and they did a good job. I think definitely being in a Catholic school, you kind of have to work a little bit harder to get the things that you need, and they did a great job. Definitely some of them that you really need to be on them and make sure that you get the accommodations that you need, because you have a right to those as a student. So but yeah, they did great.
When you were deciding on what to do for college and what to do for a career, what was your thought process like, and as a college student, and the direction you want to go as a career?
At first, I really wanted nothing to do with the blindness field in general, because I was like, well, like I shouldn't just do a job that a blind person can do. I want to do whatever I want to do. So I went to a program in the summer going into my junior year. It was called Summer Academy. I know you went to Summer Academy as well.
Yes, I did. Yes.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It's a program that prepares blind students for college. They're in high school, and it prepares them for either college or going to a trade school. So you learn technology, you learn orientation and mobility, you learn how to cook and how to do other daily living skills, and you do a lot of recreational activities. Unfortunately, funding got cut through the program, so a lot of things are cut, but it's still a great program, and it still is very valuable for high school students. One of the classes was called Vision Rehabilitation Therapy, or VRT. I was in that class one day and I was like, I really like this, and I want to explore this more and see what I wanted to do. And then when it came to applying for colleges, I was like, I don't really want to go to college in a random field, in a random degree, and then get this degree. So I was like, oh, why don't I just go to Kutztown for the TVBI program? Because I knew I wanted to be in the vision field. I just didn't know to what extent, like working with kids or working with adults. So I definitely love the vision field, and I am very close to getting my certification. I'm a junior now, and I just need to pass the math praxis to get teacher candidacy so I can student teach, because I'm terrible at math. But yeah, I'm really excited to go into the vision field.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
How is Kutztown with accommodations and the way they do their work there? I know that Kutztown has a very strong vision program there. How has that been in terms of accommodations?
They're awesome. Their disability services is great. I actually work for the disability services office. They're awesome. Make sure you have all your accommodations, and they really go above and beyond to make sure that their students have everything that they need.
That's great. Now, as a blind person, we all know this, that we have to really become capable with the advocacy skills and really able to advocate for ourselves. When was it that you really had to advocate for something that you needed and you had to face a struggle, and how did you overcome that?
I think in high school, I really had to, teachers were great in getting accommodations and making sure that I had everything I needed, but sometimes they weren't the best at emailing me materials before class. So I really had to be on them. Like I would send them an email every day, and I would say, I need this. Like, you need to make sure that you give me the materials, because I have a right to them just like anyone else. And college definitely got a lot better because of the DSO, the disability services, but I would still have to make sure that I would ask the teachers to send me materials. And sometimes in classes, materials would be not in the right format, and I would just tell them, this format isn't accessible to me. I need to make sure that I am able to access it. And they're pretty good at it. They're great at making sure that you have everything that you need.
And who would you say is a role model in your life who really has inspired you to have a high expectations for yourself and have a high expectations about your blindness? Who would you say would be your most mentor or your role model that has helped you along in your life?
I don't know if there's like one specific person, but I'm a part of a lot of Facebook groups in the blindness field, and I enjoy reaching out to them to ask them questions. I reach out to my TVI a lot, who I had in high school, and she taught me technology, and I ask her questions a lot about what to do in my career and what she thinks about this pathway or that pathway. So she's a great role model to me.
That's great. What has been your experience in your family and in terms of relatives and your family? How have they treated you as a blind person, and what has been their belief on blindness?
I would say that my family, they're good. Sometimes they can be a little bit not as, understanding, because they don't really get it. They are great, but you know how family can be. Sometimes you just don't really agree with them. I would say my extended family, some of them are great and some of them they kind of have, I guess, old attitudes about blindness. Sometimes they almost sugarcoat my blindness. They're just like, oh, you can't see very well, or oh, you are visually impaired. Like, they don't just say that I'm blind. Like, I don't think that my eyes not working is not the problem. It's people's perception of blindness that is the problem.
Yeah, so you've had to teach them.
Yeah.
Your life. So what advice would you give to transition age students transitioning from high school to college to the workplace? What advice would you give them?
I would say that you are your best advocate and you know what works for you and what doesn't. And self-advocacy is really important, especially as you get into college and the workforce. Like, I'm very fortunate that I have a great disability services office at my college, but I know people who don't. So you just need to be on them and you need to say, like, I have the right to this education or this job just as anyone else. I might not be able to see well. I might not be able to not do certain things, but like I may just do them differently. And just explain, like, you know, I use a screen reader to access information and I use a braille note taker to take notes, and this is how I do things. Because if you show them what you can do, they're more likely to hire you, or they're more likely to give you that chance. You just need to have a good attitude and a good perception of your disability, depending on what it is.
And what kind of technology tools do you use that you would say are very helpful to you, and how do you utilize them in the classroom and outside of the classroom?
I use all Apple products, and I have a Mac with Boot Camp through Windows. I use an iPhone, iPad, Mac. I use a braille note taker for doing complete assignments and to take notes. I love AT. Like, that's one of my strong passions that I have. I think the more tools you have, the better you will be. I personally am a fan of the Mac just because I think it's simpler to use, but I know Windows because I have to and because I know that one program or one platform might be better than the others. So it's important to know different screen readers, different operating systems, things like that.
Yeah, it's the versatility of those programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We all are being affected by this COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, and a lot of schools are going into online. Has Kutztown gone into an online format, and how has that been for you? Has the online software been accessible to you?
Yeah, everything is online now. Everything is accessible. The things that aren't accessible, I would reach out to my professors and I would say, this isn't accessible, or I need this in a different format. And they're very good about making sure it's accessible. And if they don't know, they'll ask. So it's great. I always forget what day it is and what's due, so that's a problem. But other than that, it's great.
So is this a new format for you of doing online classes, or is it something that you've dealt with in the past?
I've done a couple online classes in the past. I'm in one right now, and it's not bad. I like it. I miss being face to face with people. I feel like I learn more when I interact with other people face to face.
Yeah. You also wanted to mention about the Homework Help Hotline.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I started to volunteer with this new initiative through several TVIs and blind students and mentors. We came together and decided, I didn't decide, I just helped volunteer with it. It's called the National Homework Hotline for Blind and Visually Impaired Students. And the goal of the hotline is to assist students from K-12 all the way up through college with different subjects, so like math and science and other subjects and content matter. And then the tech issues, so JAWS, VoiceOver, Mac, iOS, just accessing different platforms and different software and technology. So it's every day, Monday through Friday from 11 to 8. And if you need any assistance, you can email National Homework Hotline .BVI @gmail.com. But if you just Google search National Homework Hotline for Blind and Visually Impaired Students, you can access all the information there.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
If the listeners wanted to contact you or see what you're doing, do you have a social media that you like to share?
Yeah, I have a Twitter page. My Twitter handle is at B Weber 630. So I love Twitter. I like to see different information that I can access and things like that.
Very good. Well, thank you, Becca, for coming on to Blind Abilities and talking about yourself and a little bit about your life and your journey. Great to see how far you've progressed in the many years that I've known you, and I know you're going to go on to do great things, and I know you've helped me along the way. So thank you for all you've done for me, and I know we're going to be having you back after your graduation, seeing what good things you're going to do. So thanks for talking with us, Becca.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right, and stay safe.
Thanks, you too.
Be sure to contact your state services for the blind, your voc rehab, and find out what they can do for you. Live, work, read, succeed. For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter @blindabilities, and download the free Blind Abilities app from the App Store and on Google Play. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. You can also enable the Blind Abilities skill on your Amazon device. Just say, enable Blind Abilities. A big shout out to Chi-Chow for his beautiful music. You can follow Chi-Chow on Twitter at @LChichow. And most importantly, I want to thank you, the listener. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed. And until next time, bye-bye.
When we share
what we see
through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the reality
of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.
Blind abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter @blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, Blind Abilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.